Asexual Life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Thank you for your get well wishes, because I had an ankle injury yesterday. I'm still recovering from that, so apologies if the streams end up being a bit sporadic. I've injured the same ankle that was broken last year. It's basically all the symptoms point towards it being broken again, even though the hospital's told me it's sprained in that area because they don't think there's another break. But I seem to beg to differ. Anyway, being alone versus lonely. What's the difference? And which is okay, which isn't. Right, so yesterday I happened to be with one of my best friends, and we were out all day yesterday. And you can be alone but still have friends, or you can be alone and on your own. So yesterday when I saw my friend, I saw him all day. We went to George's Meeting House, which is a Wetherspoons pub. We went to Chevalier Inn, which is another Wetherspoons pub. And we went to Imperial, which is another pub. And my friend actually is very introverted. They actually really enjoy spending time on their own. And being in social situations is usually quite difficult for them, because they do have social anxiety. And I don't think they'd mind me telling you that. And, they are very introverted. So they do spend a lot of time on their own, and they enjoy spending time on their own. I personally am an extrovert. I love being around people, but you can still be on your own or alone, if you like, and have people around you. But general alone means it means you're on your own with no one there. But you could have alone having two meanings. One is you're alone as in you don't have a partner, you're single, or one is you're alone as in on your own. And obviously that's very different to being lonely, right? So I'm alone as in on my own, and I'm alone now. I do spend a lot of my life alone, as in, just with myself basically. And yesterday I came out of the Imperial car park with my friend. I went to go home and went to go round down this like path, and you can get to it, I think, by walking down a slightly quicker way. But when I tried to go down there, I felt it, and it felt like a slope with steep steps, and it was dark, so I didn't go. I went to turn back, and then ended up going along this curb part between a car and a wall, and literally, my foot turned over on the curb, my ankle did, and then I thought it was going to be flat, but it wasn't, and I ended up going down. And it ended up with on this slope, and it ended up like double twisting over. So anyway, that was like really difficult, but I do spend usually a lot of time on my own alone, and this friend does as well. They like spending time on their own, but I'm extrovert and he's introverted, so we come from different perspectives in that way, but we both really enjoy each other's company. And I was so fortunate that my best friend was with me. This is my best friend that's not asexual, was with me throughout the whole time. They stayed with me at the hospital, and they've been cooking and getting my food shopping today. And so you can be alone, as in you spend the majority of time on your own, but you can still have really, really, really good friends. You can still have an amazing life being single and enjoying it. And tomorrow is International Celebrate Being Single Day, February the 14th. And I was meant to be going to Plymouth to go to the aquarium, to go to the cinema, and out for a meal. But unfortunately, I've had to cancel that because of the foot injury. I'm back on crutches again. So my own crutches from last time, because the hospital wouldn't give me any. So they were trying to force me to walk on an ankle I couldn't walk on, which was not too good. But yeah, so going back to being alone versus lonely. Being alone means basically being on your own. Being on your own, and or being single, and versus lonely. Lonely is when you feel like being on your own is a bad thing, and you get very distressed about it, and you feel like no one understands you, and you feel like there's only you in the world who's like you, and you can't relate to anyone, and it can be a lonely existence. It's like no one understands, no one's there to love you, no one's there to care about you, and you're not comfortable really spending loads of time on your own all the time. You think, kind of, what's the point to being on your own? And you really miss company, but it's quite natural to miss having company. Human beings need human connection. We need to be communicating with other people. Even the introverted people in this world still need some people, because to communicate with, even if you don't like communicating with people regularly, if you put yourself in total isolation, you're most likely find, that you do need some connection, whether that's an online connection through a YouTube channel, for example, like this one, or whether it's just having a pen pal. It might be very little, but it's still connection, because connection is one of the 5 ways to well-being. And loneliness sometimes is given a very bad rap, like, oh, you shouldn't feel alone because you should be complete the way you are. But you can be complete, as in you can still have like the whole of you, but still feel lonely. But the thing is, usually you're not as complete as you could be if you feel lonely, because you're kind of looking for your external validation, rather than being happy with who you are in that moment. And so loneliness is difficult, because being lonely all the time, persistently, is very unhealthy for your mental health, and it can make you feel really bad, and it can make you feel really sad and depressed, and it can just fuel the loneliness even more, because the more you feel sad, depressed, and unhappy, the more you feel disconnected from the world, from other people, from yourself, maybe even, and the more you feel really like no one really gets you or understands you, and what's the point, because you feel all alone in a not good way. So you can feel alone as in you're on your own, you're single, you're happy, you're feeling fantastic, or you can be alone as in you're on your own, no one understands you, no one cares about you in the way you want to be cared about, and life can be very difficult and challenging for you constantly. So you've got to look at the bigger picture, like what is the major difference between being alone and lonely. And overall, being alone is you're on your own. You can function well on your own. You'll still feel fine being on your own without anyone else. You still feel happy. You feel contented in your own company. Whereas being lonely is kind of like you miss other people. You want other people around you. You feel a need to have other people there. But I have to say that extroverts, by nature of being extrovert, do need other people around them, usually, to give them energy. They need to get out and about among people. That's why they're extrovert, because they're kind of externally, they need external stimulation, if you like. So I'm an extrovert, so I get totally energized when I'm around people. Like, I had a really amazing day with Andy, going to 3 different pubs, family pubs. Don't drink alcohol. And the reason I had such a good time is obviously their terrific company. And I got to be out, and I got to feel, I was literally feeling like this, the energy in the pubs. And, I was listening to the chatter and closing my eyes, and I could hear it. It's like therapy for my soul. And it was just little chatter in the background. And it was very beautiful. And not many people understand that, because actually the world is full of introverted people. The majority of people tend to be introverted, from my experience. And I didn't even know that. I thought everyone was like me, like extroverted. I know a few people were introverted, but a few years ago I discovered it's the opposite. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs are introverted. They just have to push themselves out of their comfort zone to display extrovert, characteristics and extrovert mannerisms in order to get ahead in their business, for example. And so I guess you could argue, sometimes I feel like I'm alone or on my own when there's so many introverted people in the world, and I'm a rare extrovert, and I really literally get so energized. I can put my hands out, close my eyes, and even now I can feel and hear the noise. But it's a beautiful noise of people chattering, laughter, having fun, everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet. It's just really beautiful. And I get so energized by it and feel so good. You know, it's sad that I got injured in the end of our day, but, you know, I still had a beautiful day. And so these days, I don't feel lonely like I used to. I used to feel so lonely as a child. No one understood me. I was bullied. I didn't have any friends. I didn't think anyone cared about me. I didn't think I was valuable to anyone. I didn't think I was valuable in and of myself. I thought, you know, what have I got to offer the world? Nothing. And I felt so miserable and unhappy. But over the years, as I've actually spent time on my own and been alone and spent time actually being a single person, living here as a single person, I've actually grown in strength, because the more I spend time with myself, getting to know myself, the more I love myself, because the more I know that no 2 days are ever the same with Sandra Bellamy. You'll never ever be bored. Even my friend Andy says, you know, that's been with me all this time, helping me with my injury and spent the day with me, even there said, you know, there's no, you know, everything's like, oh, it's different with me. It's never boring. There is nothing boring about my life. You know, there's a lot of like lot of drama, if you like, in my life. I don't mean it to be that way, but you know, like, life is never boring. There's always something going on in it. I suppose this is why I've been able to do this channel like for 5 years. Do you know what I mean? Because it's Asexualise my asexual life, and I do show my own asexual life journey, all to help others. And so it's been a very varied and rich life, you know, and I have to be thankful that, you know, I have got injury. It is really difficult. I was so distressed because I don't want to be an invalid again. It's going backwards again. I want this year to be different, but I have to just understand that everything happens for a reason, and the why will reveal itself. And I just know that I've really got a really good friend in Andy, and he is amazing. I couldn't wish for a better friend like that. And obviously I've got my best asexual friend, Sam. I couldn't wish for a better friend than Sam either. They are both amazing, amazing, kind, caring people who are very, very thoughtful and loving in a friendship way towards me, you know. And I just think it's beautiful that these two human beings care so much about me. I've never had so much friendship love in all my life than from these two people. They don't go around saying I love you, but they don't have to. They show it through their actions and words every single day. And I don't know what I would have done if Andy hadn't been with me, you know. It's been really traumatic for me, and obviously for him, because he's seen me very distressed and screaming in pain. So, you know, but that's the difference between being alone and lonely, is that even if like I'm on my own now and I'm alone, I know that I've still got these two amazing friends. I know I've got you, my community here. I know I'm still thought of quite a lot by, you know, Andy and Sam, my best friends, and about a lot of people really respect me and care about me and think about me. And I don't want to see anyone distressed or upset over me, you know, being injured and stuff. But when I do have friends that I can tell are a little bit like that, or in case of Andy, a lot like that, because he was there through the trauma with me, it makes me realize how much I affect them, and how much, because they love me in a friendship way, and how much they care about me. And I have to think that's a good thing, that they even care so much about you, even though I wish they weren't, you know, upset or distressed, because I don't want to see them in that state. I still think it's an honor that they feel the way they do, because they care so much about me, if you know what I mean. But obviously I want them to be happy as much as possible, not unhappy. You know, but when you're alone versus lonely, when you're alone, you can literally enjoy your own company. I love self-dating, and I'm going to have a self-date at home tomorrow. So I've still got myself some gifts. Luckily, I bought them before. I bought them like last month, I think it was. I bought gifts for myself for International Celebrate Being Single Day. So I am going to be revealing those tomorrow. And I've got myself some food treats for tomorrow as well. So even though I'm going to be at home, I'm going to be spending a beautiful day with myself. I'm going to hopefully relax a lot tomorrow. And, you know, really just enjoy being alone and on my own, because I'll just be chilling out, having a great time and spending a beautiful day with myself. And so, you know, when I was lonely, it was always a case of like, I felt lacking. I felt no one cared. No one wanted me in life. No one appreciated me. I may as well not be here. I used to think about, you know, not being here anymore. And this is when I was really depressed, and I thought, what's the point to life? And it's all horrible. And then, you know, in 2012, everything changed. I got into personal professional development when I went to a business show. I realized all the special qualities I have and the skills to offer the world. I never realized I did. And that was a huge turning point in my life. And it's from then I started my self-love journey. And then I realized that being on your own doesn't have to be sad and miserable and lonely and depressing. Being on your own can be a fantastic thing because you cut out the people who don't really care about you, who don't love you for who you are, and who make you feel really bad about yourself. And by spending more and more time alone and on your own, you can actually lead your own life path. And you can actually be on that life path. And you can actually, oh God, sorry, got to move my ankle. You can actually be on that life path and you can follow your dreams. And once you start living your own life and being alone but happy with yourself, then you can start to feel good and positive emotions fill your body. You can start to understand why being in the environment that other people are in is not necessarily suitable for you. Doing the things that other people do, it is not suitable for you because you're a different type of person, right? Some may suit you, some may not. But once you become aware that being alone is basically being on your own, and it doesn't equate to being lonely, but it equates to empowerment and self-sufficiency and self-reliance, and this is all empowering stuff, the more you can actually feel fantastic about your life and yourself. Like, I love living my flat. I love living the way I live. I love living a very unconventional life. I don't want to be in a conventional relationship. If I was in a relationship, that would bore me. I like being Sandra Bellamy. I like who I am, but that's only because I've spent a lot of time with myself and realised that I can make myself happy. I don't have to rely on other people to do that. I can do that. I can be me, and also sticking up for myself. How many times do we stick up for other people and our friends that we don't stick up for ourselves? Right, nowadays, I stick up for myself a lot. I'm like, no, you're your best friend, Sandra. You stick up for yourself. You'd stick up for a friend. If this was anyone else, why aren't you doing that for you? Because you should be, because you love yourself, you know? So that's so important. So being alone is being on your own, and being alone is basically, as I see it, is a positive thing. It's spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, reflect on what makes you happy, doing what makes you happy, following your dreams, following your life path, and literally being a solo artist of life in a fabulous way. You know, whereas being lonely is like you need something that someone's not providing, you're missing something, something's lacking in you, you feel out of control, you don't feel happy, emotions feel negative, and it feels very lost. And, you know, you're like craving people, but for kind of the reasons that you want to get validation outside of you, and you want other people's opinions all the time, and you can't live without other people validating who you are and making you feel good. And if they don't, you feel bad. Whereas when you're alone, you can be self-sufficient and make yourself feel good and regulate your own emotions more and feel much better about yourself and your life. I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Post an emoji down below in the comments. Love to know what you think. Don't forget to comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live, like now, post a new video. And tomorrow is International Celebrate Being Single Day, so happy International Celebrate Being Single Day for all those who support it and love it and do it. And you know, I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care, lots of love, and always make sure that you are spending time by yourself, quality time, reflect on life, doing what makes you happy and feel good. And don't forget to always love yourself more than anything in the world, because at the end of the day, you're your own best friend and you're going to be with yourself 24/7. So it's up to you to make yourself have the best company ever, which is yourself, and really enjoy who you are. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye.